Good day to you. My name is Katuk. Welcome back to the podcast, or welcome to the podcast. I would encourage each and every one of you to go back and listen to episodes that you haven't listened to. Please subscribe. And if you can appreciate something in one of these episodes, please share it with others. Help people. If you can appreciate something, help someone else appreciate something within this podcast also. If it inspires you, I encourage you to share it with many people as you can. I talk a lot about inspiration this season, and I will talk about some things in the future this season that inspire me. I was thinking today a little more along the lines of how we learn things subconsciously and the benefit of the subconscious learning. And I think of a couple examples in my life. I think about our daughter, and she was telling me recently, we were on a little road trip, we spent some time together, and she was talking about how she learned when she was taking driver's ed, how she had learned from different people. And she was talking about how my wife does her checking in her mirrors and how she moves her entire body to be able to look in her side rear view mirrors, to be able to see something, and she doesn't turn her head as much and can see the same amount when she moves her entire body. This is something that my daughter learned. I've watched my wife do it and didn't realize what she's doing and how she's utilizing her mirrors the way she is when she moves and doesn't spend as much time looking over her shoulder. She literally uses her mirrors. And my daughter had observed this. She had been learning when she was learning driver's ed. She drove with me. She's got a couple sets of parents, and she learned, I think, from all of us in different ways. I didn't realize what she was picking up subconsciously at that time. And if she was learning things subconsciously, as we all know we do, we know that we teach others subconsciously. We've seen it. Anyone who's had children, or if your friends have had children, or if you have grandchildren around, or you've seen some wee ones in your life at some point, you realize that what you try to teach them, they may or may not learn. And subconsciously, they will learn it all. What they're watching, what they're hearing, they're picking it up, and they will do as the people around them do. And I think that it's important to be able to be more conscious of those types of things. Be conscious of how other people are subconsciously learning from us. I think about another example in my life. A friend at work is moving into lower management and maybe a little bit into middle management in the business where I work. And watching how some of this is done, how he may make an approach with people differently than some other managers do that would be equal at that level. And I realize, because I know his mom, I realize that I think some of it came from her owning a restaurant maybe when he was younger, managing that restaurant herself, and how she treated people. And she's always very kind, and she always has good words to say to people, and she doesn't work in any type of management as far as I know today. And I could see that at one point she was probably very good to her employees. She probably tried to understand where they were coming from and then cater to their needs without telling them she was catering to their needs. Just help them be better employees, help them maybe be better people, just all kinds of different stuff. And I believe that possibly her son subconsciously probably learned a lot from her coming into management that he has no idea, consciously, that he learned from her. He thinks, oh, well, I picked it up here and here, rather than thinking back to, oh, I watched her do this. I watched her do that. I watched how she treated people. I watched how she talked to people. I really appreciated when she would talk to someone and someone else would have been condescending, or I've seen other people in that position and they talk down to people, and she didn't do that. Now, I don't know any of this specifically. I don't even know that this is all 100% fact. I just believe that that has happened with some of these people in my life. And I believe it's happened with a lot more people than what we realize, than what we're conscious of. How much subconscious learning have you done along the way? In school, people try to do very direct conscious learning. People try to do direct conscious teaching when we are in a school type atmosphere. I get it. It happens. It's very direct. It's conscious. We're trying to teach people something, or we're trying to learn something. Combination of both. What about when you're going through life? Do you realize the subconscious teaching that are when you're spending time with a wee one, that youngest one in your life, however old they are, do you realize what it is you're teaching them? Maybe by what you listen to on the radio. Do you listen to talk radio? Is there a lot of controversy in that talk radio? Do they talk down about a group of people? And then you wonder where this wee one has been talking down about these people? Why they're talking down about someone? Because that's what they hear. Are you listening to music that inspires them more than you? Because they have more to be inspired about? And you've already been inspired? Or do you realize the conversation you're having with someone else, another adult, and that child, that wee one, however little or large or old or young they may be, they're listening. They're seeing how you do conflict resolution, or they're seeing how you do no conflict resolution. It's just conflict. You know, can they hear how you've changed? Can they see how you've changed? Do you do things differently than what you used to when they were young? Is your life changing and all of a sudden your teenager isn't quite getting it because your life had begun to change, but they're used to all the subconscious teachings that you taught them when they were younger? And now they're beginning their adolescence and they're getting conflicted messages because their subconscious has been taught the whole time to do this or to react like this. And now you're trying to tell them to do something different. And now it's a conflict for them. I'm throwing these ideas out there because I think that we could learn that everyone around us at all times is getting a subconscious message from us. You go to work and complain about work. You go to work and complain about the guests at work. You go to work and complain about the boss. And then you wonder why everyone around you is complaining. Well, you teach them that that's what you like. I remember decades ago, a friend of mine, he carries a lot of stress at the time. And I told him, I said, you're really good at carrying stress. And he said, no, I'm not. I hate it. I said, no, I'm not good at it, so I don't carry it. I can't handle it. Can't handle it. I won't have anything to do with it. People carry stress and then say they're not good at it. Obviously, they are good at it. You know, I remember telling somebody at one point, I said, well, you're really good at getting jobs. I'm not, so I have to keep the one I have. It's all in how you look at it. Somebody that works a half dozen different places in a given year, they're good at getting a job. They may not be good at keeping a job, but they're good at getting a job. I don't know that I'm good at getting a job, so I just keep the one I have. Speaking of which, I have some adult children today. A couple of them have children of their own. And I have been working in the same place since before any of our children were born. So maybe subconsciously, I have begun to show them a good work ethic. Now, I don't tell the kids, well, you should get a job and you should work at this place for years and you should. I do not do that. I encourage them to go out and do something that they can appreciate doing. And they can appreciate that they're being paid a fair wage for what they do. If it's not the case, then find something that works. Now, subconsciously, I've shown them that what you do is you go to work every day, you show up on time, you hold on to a job when you decide that this is something you can live with. Now, I don't go out and tell them that. I don't tell my grandchildren that. The facts are, I have been working at the same job for decades. Some people will say it's a long time. Well, it's a period of time, yes. And when I look at it from a point of view that I am maybe teaching people in my family that I have a good work ethic and it matters to me, even though I don't tell them that verbally, that's a pretty cool subconscious type of teaching, I think. What is it you're teaching people subconsciously? What is it that you have learned subconsciously? Are you teaching people that you're good at getting a job? Are you teaching people that you're good at carrying stress? Are you teaching people that you like to complain about things? Or that if they do, it's acceptable because you teach them that that's what you do? Or is it the opposite? You taught them that you are good at holding on to a job rather than getting jobs. In the process, you teach them a good work ethic because you go to work every day and you don't call in on a regular basis all of the time. Do you show up to work on time? What is it you're teaching people that you work with? What is it you're teaching people in your family? What is it that you're teaching people in your social circle? That social circle isn't online. That social circle is people getting together and doing things, whatever that is. And you may be conscious that there are subconscious teachings, and you may not be. The reason I talk about it on this episode of the podcast is because I want you to become more conscious of subconscious teachings, how you learn and how you teach, the things that you do, the things that you say. When you think that you're not teaching something, or you have nothing to learn, and you watch the same behavior over and over and over again, then you wonder why you begin to behave that way. It is subconscious. It will either help you or it will be of disservice. You can choose what it is for you. Looking forward to next time. Live in harmony with and use the bounty of the land to bring kindness to the world.